Big news, AFTV are coming to Ghana. We are coming to Ghana in Africa between the 6th and 12th of February, and we're going to be meeting Ghanaian Arsenal fans and doing a watch party around the West Ham versus Arsenal football game. You do not want to miss this, so Ghana, get ready. We are coming. AFTV. Hi, and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with fans who link with January transfer move to Arsenal. Hi, and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that are linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. I'm buzzing today because that was a great win for Arsenal last night away at Nottingham Forest. A little bit of a gloss taken off it when we conceded that late goal, but we fully deserved to win, and that was much better from Arsenal. A bit of a slow first half, we had lots of possession, didn't really do nothing. But in the second half, Gabriel Jesus really stepped it up. Arsenal stepped it up, and we were deserved winners on the night, and that's a big win. Sets it up perfectly for that game on Sunday against Liverpool. Good to see Arsenal back in winning ways. Did you know that on this very day in 2018, Arsenal signed Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang? Brilliant signing. Scored lots and lots of goals for us. Won us the FA Cup. I know how it ended. It ended horribly. But I still look upon him as a really good signing. It went bad in the end, but it was a great signing. And he scored lots of goals. Could that possibly be maybe our best ever January signing? It's definitely got to be up there. And did you also know that on this very day in 2014, we probably made one of our worst ever signings in a January transfer window in Kim Kallstrom? Remember him? We signed him from Spartak Moscow. He came in and he had a broken back. Unbelievably. Couldn't even play for us for a couple of months. However, he did. We got to give him his dues. He did score that penalty for us in that penalty shootout that helped us to win a trophy that season as well. So big up to him. But it wasn't his fault, by the way. But what a signing that was, like, with an injured player. I remember it so clearly. You know what I mean? And this this is the thing about January transfer windows. They are hit and miss. You can make a great signing like Aubameyang, or you can make an awful signing like that. And that's why a lot of managers don't like the January transfer window. I've even heard a lot of people saying this January that we should just get rid of it now. Just don't bother to have a January transfer window. Just have one window and that's it. Certainly, as we all know, it's been a very, very slow January window, and it's not looking like Arsenal probably going to sign anybody by the looks of it. Window closing tomorrow at 11 p.m. Who knows? But not a lot of movement. A couple of players being linked, though, with Arsenal today. Ibrahim Usman of Neuchâtel over there in Denmark. He's 19. He's a left winger. Really, really good player. Really, really good prospect from Ghana. And he's been getting a lot of interest from clubs over in the Premier League. West Ham this January have attempted to sign him, but it kind of all fell through sort of over the price. You see there his valuation's only a couple of £1 million, but his club want a lot of money for him. But West Ham were looking to sign him, and that's sort of all fallen through. There's other clubs that are interested in from the Premier League. As I've just named, West Ham, Brighton, Brentford, all interested. And Arsenal also said to be one of those clubs that are showing an interest. He could be a possible backup on both wings. We know, we need a backup for Saka. Whether this guy's the one, I don't know. He scored 4 goals and had 5 assists in his last 29 appearances, and has been getting a lot of interest from clubs over in the Premier League, including Arsenal. Don't expect to see this one happen in January, but, and I'm not too sure if Arsenal will move for him, but those are the reports out today. There was also a frenzy of sort of reports coming out regarding Amadou Onana of Everton. Now, he didn't play in yesterday's game where they drew 0-0 against Fulham, Everton. And it started to get a lot of people talking, saying, is this a sign that he's going to be moving? Is this a sign that he is on his way to Arsenal? He's been heavily linked with a move to Arsenal this January transfer window. However, his manager, Sean Dyche, was saying that he picked up a knock in their 2-1 defeat against Luton on Saturday, and that he was not in the side just due to injury, but he is part of their plan. So it doesn't look like Onana will be moving this January, but I expect a lot of movement around him come the summer. He's going to be definitely a player that Arsenal are going to be looking at. Everton, big FFP charges. You never know. Doesn't sound great for Everton fans, but they could even be in the Championship. And, they will definitely then need to offload players like Onana, who's a player that they can get a lot of money for. But definitely, I can't see him going in January. Arsenal haven't got that sort of money to spend anyway in January, but look for this one as a possibility in the summer. Now, this player, Bradley Ibrahim, an Arsenal player, an Arsenal youngster who's been doing really, really well in the Arsenal ranks. Well, Arsenal have in the process of selling him to Hertha Berlin over in the Bundesliga. Now, Ibrahim, very talented youngster. He signed a deal with them, which is going to keep him at Hertha Berlin till 2027. As part of the contract, Arsenal have got a first refusal on signing him. A bit like what we had all them years ago with Cesc Fabregas, that if he decides to come back to, or decides to leave that club, Arsenal will be the first club that have the option to buy him. They've also inserted a sell-on clause as well. So really protected himself over the value of this player. That means that Arsenal must really, really rate him. Just no pathway at the moment for him to get into the first team. Defensive midfielder on his way to Hertha Berlin. I think that's a very good move. Listen, when you're a young player and you're at, Arsenal or any football club in the Premier League trying to come through, you want to play football. And this is going to be a chance for him to play football. Now, listen, there's a lot of players now, young players from England going over to Germany to ply their trade, and then with the possibility of coming back to the Premier League. So good luck to him. What's going to happen with Marquinhos? Now, I spoke about him right at the start of the window, that he was on loan at Nantes over there in France. It hadn't gone well for him. He's come back to Arsenal. And then everybody's been thinking, well, where's he going next? He's currently away with the Brazil under-23 team at a pre-Olympic tournament. But it's just not happening for him at Arsenal. Just not happening for him at the moment at all. However, according to reports coming out of Brazil, one of them for a company called Radio Italia, they're saying that Corinthians, the Brazilian team, Corinthians, are in talks with Arsenal about a loan deal with an option to buy Marquinhos. So he could be heading back to Brazil. We brought him over as a big prospect. As I said, hasn't really worked out for him, but looks like he could be heading back to Brazil if these reports are true with Corinthians, which would be a good move for him. We also linked with another Brazilian, and this time he's a Brazilian who plays over in Serie A. He goes by the name of Edison, not the goalkeeper, another Edison, and he plays for Atalanta. According to Goal Brazil, they're claiming that Arsenal are interested in him and have made inquiries about Edison's availability. He's also wanted by Liverpool, Newcastle, PSG. All of those clubs have stated an interest in him. Valued at around about £26 million. A decent player, really good player. He's been doing really, really well for Atalanta. But again, I'd be very surprised Atalanta, unless it was a humongous deal, would let him go in this January transfer window. Again, more a deal that you could see happening in the summer rather than right now in the January transfer window. And finally, Cedric, still at Arsenal, was in the squad for last night's game at Nottingham Forest, but will he be here beyond 11 p.m. tomorrow? Still Galatasaray said to be making inquiries and talking to Arsenal about a deal to take Cedric to the Turkish powerhouses. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on that one. So one day to go. One more show here on Transfer Daily. It's been hard this month because, it's just not looked like for a long time once we got sort of into about the third week, it's not looked like we're going to sign anybody. Arteta sort of more or less said it's not looking like Arsenal are going to get anybody, but could there be some sort of surprise on deadline day? And also, who's going to be leaving? There might be some outgoings. We keep you up to date with it here on AFTV if anything happens. So make sure you keep it locked here and subscribe to AFTV to get your transfer dailies. Thanks for watching the show, and I'll see you tomorrow.